This week on the Jock and Nerd Podcast, we review Season 3 of Invincible on Amazon Prime. Plus, a Stranger Things star joins the cast of Spider-Man 4. Should the latest Russo brothers movie, The Electric State, make us worry about the next Avengers movies? Our thoughts on Episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again, Severance Season 2, and more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 17th, 2025.
This is Jason Mewes, and for reasons best left between you and your therapist, you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Snooch to the nooch. Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Oh, what's up, listener? How's it going? Thank you for pressing play, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, he's an alternate Invincible from the Puppet universe. They call him Viltrum Boy. We call him Rugs. Rugs, you're not invincible at all, are you?
No, I am completely vincible.
He's the opposite of invincible.
I'm the most vincible of all the invincible.
We call Rugs Invulnerable Boy or Vulnerable. Well, I don't know.
What?
All I'm saying is there's a lot of alternate Mark Graysons out there, as we have seen in Invincible. We're going to talk about Invincible, but before that, fellas, a couple of things to have a little conversation about. Let's get started.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
I have some casting news. For Spider-Man 4, all the trades reporting Stranger Things star Sadie Sink, who plays Max on Stranger Things, is set to join Spider-Man 4.
Oh, shit.
Now, you may have seen this. You may have seen all the rumors of possibly who she's playing. There was a rumor going around. Sadie Sink was being considered for Jean Grey in the X-Men. And then other people were, the rumors went everywhere from Firestar. Remember Firestar from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
Of course.
Angelica Houston, or Gwen Stacy, or a Mary Jane Watson, which that last one was weird to me because I was like, wait, we got an MJ. Why do we need another MJ? Well, turns out, you don't got to guess, I think, because Jeff Snyder over on the Hot Mic had a source who pretty much told him that, yes, she is indeed playing Mary Jane Watson.
Oh, shit.
That's crazy because we have an MJ, but we don't have a Mary Jane, do we? Zendaya.
Wait, but then why do you have written down here this other thing?
Oh, I'll get to that in a second. There's a larger picture with some young actors.
No, I know, but why do you have
names.
Sadie Sink as Jean Grey here?
Because there was a rumor going around. I'll explain this. Well, starting also from Jeff Snyder, who picked up on this a while ago, a rumored casting for the X-Men film that had a bunch of young actors. So it's kind of an interesting list. You have Harris Dickinson as Cyclops. He's known from Triangle of Sadness. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, Margaret Qualley as Rogue, Julia Butters as Kitty Pryde, Jesse Plemons as Beast, and even Mikey Madison, Honora, as Polaris. Now, I think the rumor of this X-Men cast may not be true, but I think what is in play is that Marvel has talked to all of these people, and we may see some, if not all, of these young actors in the MCU in some role.
Well, I got one thing to say.
Yeah.
At least they're young.
Yes.
Because we've been getting old people casting for Marvel way too long.
Right? And again, Julia Butters, Margaret Qualley, both in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, along with Mikey Madison, Austin Butler, Sydney Sweeney, Maya Hawke. Like, that movie's crazy. But these are kind of your up-and-coming young actors, Anthony, would you say, right now?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about what's going on with Spider-Man 4? We know this movie is going to be between Doomsday and Secret Wars is this
Yeah.
alternate universe where there is an actual Mary Jane Watson, and not. I mean, Zendaya's Michelle Jones Watson. Her name is Watson.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, she said, "I don't go by Watson." Remember in that last movie?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm still confused that you have Sadie Sink as Jean Grey and Mary Jane
So
Watson.
this is all rumor because a lot of people thought that maybe they're introducing Jean Grey in a Spider-Man 4 movie, which I was like, that don't make no sense. I mean, you could,
Right.
but it didn't make sense. It does make. I thought she'd be like Gwen Stacy, like they're doing another redhead Gwen
I would like
Stacy.
to go on the record as Zendaya as MJ was bad from the beginning because they're going to get into a quandary where they're going to want to do the Mary Jane story as it is in the comics, and they can't do it because they changed her character completely.
Well, and I think she is in Spider-Man 4, but she has a lot of. She's got production companies. She's making movies. She's got a lot of commitments. I think they may be like phasing her out, and they may be able to do a legit Mary Jane Watson storylines.
I really think they should do Gwen Stacy and not Mary Jane, since just not the waters have been muddied too much. And it sounds like a bad idea. I feel like Marvel's painted themselves into a really bad corner. And I mean, Sadie Sink would probably be an okay MJ,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know if I'm dubious on this. I don't know if I believe it. And I don't know if it's true.
I think they're going to be introducing new love interests to this Peter Parker. Like maybe they will be a Felicia Hardy. Are you still confused, Anthony? These are rumors, but I think Jeff Snyder's rumor is probably the best, that she is going to be Mary Jane.
So they're bringing in another Mary Jane
Correct.
or
No, yeah. Another one. I don't know. A variant?
another one like DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at pictures of Sadie Sink, and
Yeah.
I keep seeing young pictures of her, and I go, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
she's not ready." And then I see older pictures of her. I go, "Oh, maybe she is ready." I have no idea who any of these young people are,
Yeah.
other than Mikey Madsen. So,
Yeah.
and I know who Fat Damon is.
Fat
that's
David.
for sure.
He's not as fat anymore, though.
But yeah, I don't know. The end of Spider-Man 3 I thought was a good ending in that he has to sacrifice his life basically to
Yeah.
become the hero that everyone wants or that he needs to be for that situation. So I thought him and MJ had a little moment there where he's basically telling her that without her knowing that it's him, that he basically notices that he can't be in her life because she's still scarred.
Yeah.
She has the physical scar. So they you can wrap that, you can get away from that if you want to. You also could build a storyline where she starts to remember her again and he gets her back. So I don't know where this other MJ fits in,
Yeah.
unless it's an alternate universe.
Anthony, have you ever dated two girls with the same exact name?
No?
No, I never have, but I do have a buddy of mine that dated a girl with a pretty unique name and then married another girl that had that name
The same
too. And
name? Whoa.
It's same name,
Whoa.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
it
gonna
does
call it
happen.
out. It does happen.
Whoa. All
It's
right.
rare, but it does happen.
Yeah, it's this Peter, like nobody remembers that Peter Parker Spider-Man or even remembers him, and he's going to be like, this MJ.
Like if it was a
This
common name,
MJ.
but MJ is very specific.
But this one is not MJ. She's Michelle.
Michelle Jones, MJ.
Michelle Jones.
Yeah.
And then this would be Mary Jane.
Yeah, but they're both Watson. So alternate reality, which is the real, I don't know. Well, let's guess this. First of all, the Jesse Plemons as Beast. I really like that.
I like that. Yeah, I do
think
like
that's
that.
really good. Margaret Qualley as a rogue. She's in The Substance. I think that's also solid. So, but to see any of these people show up in Marvel movies, I would be okay with that. So that's all rumored. Let's guess this. What he also says, one or two big MCU characters are still expected to appear in the film following this trend, unfortunately, where it's a co-lead movie and not just him on his own. We had Tony
I
Stark.
think that's part of the deal, though.
Possibly, I guess.
You guess. I mean, why else would they be doing this?
Who would it be?
Sony-
We've already burned.
Sony is probably doing this because they want to beef up their movies.
Sure. And it's going to be between these big Avengers movies. We will have a Doctor Doom, Tony Stark, Doctor Doom, whatever. But we've already seen Tony Stark, Nick Fury, Doctor Strange. Who's next?
Tony Stark was the first one.
Yep.
Second one was Nick Fury,
Yep.
you said? Okay,
think-
Doctor Strange.
Yep.
All right. I mean, if you wanted to go old, and it's between Fantastic Four and
between Doomsday and Secret Wars, possibly on a weird battle world, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, one of the things you could do. Oh, damn. I was just going to say Iceman, but you can't do that.
Well, that's why if she was playing Firestar and they bring in Iceman and you just do Spider-Man, it's amazing.
No.
I would have loved that.
Isn't he good friends with Human Torch too?
Yes.
Or no?
In the comics, he is really good friends with Johnny Storm. Correct.
So I would go that route.
But they haven't even met in this reality.
I know, but by the end of Fantastic Four, we're all presuming that Fantastic Four will somehow be brought over unless that happens in Secret Wars.
Why wouldn't they do Angelica Jones? Is that just not? She's not. Firestar's not big enough of a character.
I mean, she's like a Harley Quinn, right? Was created for that cartoon and then became a comic book character because of the show. So I mean, his rumor could still be wrong, but
I think Firestar's the way to go. Get some Iceman in there.
Yeah, that would be great. Ruggs, if you had to put one big MCU character in there as supporting co-lead, who are you going to pick?
I might get my money's on the Thing.
Oh, the Thing. Oh, you guys are both going new Fantastic Four people. Okay.
Yeah, the Thing would be the easiest to do because it's just CG.
Yeah,
and you don't need to worry about actors and and scheduling or anything like that.
I mean, I'd love to see Daredevil in a Spider-Man movie, but I don't think that's going to happen. You still got
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
that would be great.
Well, they had
what about
him
the Punisher?
What
about the Punisher? Punisher is a Spider-Man character.
That's right. First appearance in Spider-Man.
It's a little too. I don't see it happening because the Punisher's so violent.
Yeah,
they'd have to.
I know, but
have him in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, like you got Human Torch is a Spider-Man friend. Daredevil's always popping in and out of Spider-Man.
He does have a history with the Fantastic Four, though.
No, he does. Any of the Fantastic Four characters would probably pop in. Dr. Doom's always popping in Spider-Man.
Could be anybody. Kingpin, man. I want to see him face off against Kingpin, too, but the power set seems a little off for them to be battling hand to hand, anyways. And then, maybe you could introduce a Black Cat. We'll see. They're about to start production, I think, soon. Or no, they're starting production on Avengers soon, and then this. Anyways, this movie's coming out 2026. Listener, let us know what you think of Sadie Sink joining the cast of Spider-Man 4. You can join this conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. It is an exclusive closed group just for you. You can meet other listeners, chop it up, geek out. Okay, the other topic I want to take some time here to discuss is I think it's about time we have a discussion about the Russo brothers. Because
I had this discussion already.
Yes.
Yourself?
No. Yes. And this is why, and I'll explain why this came up. Because I may be starting to worry a little bit about the next two Avengers movies, despite what they've given us. And we're going to make our case here, Anthony.
Who's we?
Me and Rug Boy. Because we both watched the Russo brothers' latest movie, The Electric State, on Netflix this weekend. Ruggs did a Patreon thing. And I think the best way to judge a creative team is by their most recent thing, right? Russo brothers got production studios.
Well, not only is it the Russo brothers, but it's Marcus and McFeely.
Yes, okay, here we go. Let me break this down. We're going to do a quick mini review. And the movie does it. It's not the conversation. The conversation is, what the fuck happened to the Russo brothers? I'm going to make the case this way. First of all, the cost of The Electric State, reportedly $320 million.
Oh, shit.
For a Netflix movie, making this Netflix's most expensive movie. And according to Wikipedia, the 13th most expensive movie of all time, unadjusted for inflation, just beneath the budget of Avengers Infinity War at $325. All right. Now, you got to consider the talent. And this is what Ruggs just said. This is who made this movie. Produced and directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. Screenplay by Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely. Loosely based on this illustrated novel by this guy, Simon Stalenhag. Music by Alan Silvestri. All right. We got the team here. We got the team that gave us 4 great movies. The cast features Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Ke Huy Quan, Stanley Tucci, Giancarlo Esposito, Jason Alexander, with the voices of Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, Brian Cox, Alan Tudyk, Hank Azaria. That's the talent. The result is a movie that is currently 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, it's 15 now. Excuse me. 15% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 75% audience score. Ruggs, what is the Electric State about?
Well, the robots have arrived, and they were cool for a while doing everybody's jobs. But you know what happens? They say, fuck you guys. And they went to war with humanity. So humanity had to develop some kind of neural link where they can control their own robots to fight off the robots. And they finally got to a stalemate. And then they put all the robots into this zone, like in the desert of America. I don't know what they call it, the no-go zone or something. I don't remember what they call it. The something zone. You can't go there. Only robots live there. And so this girl who's Millie Bobby Brown has a genius brother. She thinks that he died in a car crash, but the truth is that the company that's this company that is creating the virtual reality system that controls everything, is has got him, and she's got to track him down.
So I'm gonna do this.
Spoiler alert,
because it doesn't matter.
I just spoiled everything,
but that's all. It's not really that spoilery. But okay,
yeah.
So that's the story. What did you think of the movie?
It was fucking stupid. I watched it and it was fine to watch, but the creator did a better version of this movie.
Yes, the creator.
For less money.
Yes, the creator. Oh, for way less money and a better version of this story.
It was more memorable. You could see that they spent money on it, but none of it was worth it.
Yeah.
They spent imagine spending all this money on CG, but none of it actually is cool.
I will say the movie looks great, but it is completely shallow, forgettable, generic, predictable. Chris Pratt is just being Chris Pratt. Millie Bobby Brown is just being Millie Bobby Brown, like you've seen in everything else. We've seen all this stuff done better in other movies. And for a movie with that budget and that talent, it should not be. It's a strictly mediocre, average, forgettable movie. It should not be that.
Ready Player One is a better movie.
Yes.
There's so many better movies that are doing virtual characters and things like that.
And of course, the guy that saved humanity is the bad guy. Of course, the robots aren't actually bad, and they're good guys, and they're the ones that are being misunderstood. It's so predictable and so forgettable. So, at the end of the day, this is the question: what the fuck happened to the Russo brothers?
I mean, this movie is mediocre beyond mediocre.
Yeah,
it's it's not the worst movie you've ever seen. But for the Russo brothers, it's a terrible movie.
Yes. So, Anthony, what's the formula the Russo brothers had when they came to Marvel and started making these movies? Where were we?
What do you mean?
Where was the MCU?
Well, they did The Winter Soldier, so they kind of changed the feel of the MCU a little bit,
right? But up until then, what did you have? You had a focused narrative being told in the MCU, slowly built, kind of one character at a time. Plus, you have Kevin Feige. I'm trying to figure out what are the variables that they may have them make 4 amazing Marvel movies. No one will dispute that. But everything else they made, Cherry, The Gray Man, The Electric State.
If you look at they didn't produce any of those movies. So when I'm talking about the Marvel movies,
yes.
So it looks to me like the movies where they direct but don't have to produce and can use amazing source material.
Yes.
Great. When they're asked to create their own stuff, either by producing or directing, they don't do a great job at that unless it's Extraction.
Well, they just produced.
Sounds like Zack Snyder to me.
Yeah.
Listen.
They have produced some great things like Extraction. They produced Everything Everywhere All at Once. But
there you go.
Directing with this team of writers who gave us
directing and producing, they don't do as well.
Because what they got when they started was established characters where they didn't have to lay down any backstory, right? They could just jump right in. The Electric State is like an example of this. They try to make you feel for the girl whose brother died. They try to build this whole thing, and it's all shallow and flat. They're not good at building the character development enough to make you care.
That's interesting though, because when you look at the Marvel movies, they have huge ensemble casts. Even the Winter Soldier doesn't, it's not a huge cast, but there's more than just Captain America. And one of the things everyone likes about those movies, besides the fact that they're well done and there's big spectacle, is they're able to sneak in all these different little character moments amongst everyone and have everyone feel as if they are part of the movie and not just thrown in.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting that they're not able to handle that in other movies.
And every Marvel movie they made, it literally added like 10 more people and then another 10 and then like another 30. But they absolutely are great at balancing this. Now, how much of this is them? How much of this is Kevin Feige overseeing, advising? This is why I'm worried about they're going to do Avengers, Doomsday, Secret Wars. Now, this is why I'm a little worried, because what is the state of the MCU now that they're returning? This shit is all over the place. Yeah. It's a fucking mess. There's no focused narrative. They still have Kevin Feige, but they are minus one writer. Christopher Marcus not returning. He didn't want to do these movies. This is just McFeely coming back. So now, MCU all over the place, minus one writer, plus Kevin Feige.
Well, you're saying this, but the other way to look at it is they did all the Marvel stuff. They're coming back.
Yeah.
And their career post Marvel hasn't been great. But then how bad can it be if they've won an Oscar?
Sure, for producing? Sure. Yeah.
What do you mean producing? That's who gets the best picture Oscar.
Yeah, that's true. Producers. That's a good point. Oh, yeah.
Well, I would say...
So it's not, you can't say like there's careers in the toilet.
No.
Well, they chose a great director and a great script to do, but they didn't do it themselves. And I would wager that if they did do it themselves, it wouldn't be a great movie. So I don't think they would have the sensibilities to do everything everywhere all at once.
But also, Anthony, to your point, I believe these next two movies, their production company is now going to be involved with them, AGBO. But in these articles, they're saying all the right things. The Russo brothers have said, quote, they're going to return to focused narrative. They also said, we told an ending story, an end game, and now we're telling a beginning story. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen these movies, so I can't. I only seen
the Gray Man
and the Extraction movies. So
and that's the thing is like it's not even worth watching Electric State. You're gonna fucking forget it.
I have no desire.
Yeah,
you guys already told me enough. There's no reason.
You don't need it. It's unnecessary. You're seeing all the shit better in other places. But
like the thing that bothered me is that it was just almost everything didn't work.
Yeah.
Like it was just astounding how all of these things, they took these big swings, but none of those things worked. And I mean, like, I know they tried to do something different, but it was unfathomably bad. And this is like, I'm like, how you watch like something that's really stupidly done, like an Adam Wingard movie, and but it's very enjoyable, and you're dialed in while you're watching it, and there's some great moments.
Fun, yes.
This didn't have any of that.
No, and it could have easily. Like, there was so much potential. Now, I'll give them credit. I looked up the illustrated novel, and they pretty much replicated the look. That's why they have these big, goofy robots. Like, it looks just like the book, but you just don't care about anything that's happening. It's so generic. It's wild. It's wild because $320 million fucking dollars. Are you kidding me? How are you making this money back? You're not selling tickets. You know how? They're going to raise fucking Netflix tiers every 6 months. That's the only way you're making any of this money back. And the audience score being 76% makes me think that maybe
it's a crime that they spent this much money on this movie.
There's no reason. What a fuck.
They could have made like 30 minus ones with
right.
That money.
So all of this, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm a little worried because as times have changed, the MCU is in a different spot. Can they restore the greatness and the magic with all the same ingredients back? I mean, they're bringing, they're putting the cast back, they're putting the band back together. Could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
Look, everybody's entitled to a comeback. I think that anybody can do it.
Don't call it a comeback.
But
Sorry.
they have to know that they're in the shitter. Like, they have to know that they're behind the 8 ball. They can't just be like, "Oh, that was not us. That's it's the reviewer's fault that that no one liked it." Like, they have to take accountability for, that they're not at the top of their game right now. They have to do something about it.
But can they only make good movies under the guidance or supervision of Kevin Feige?
If you have like characters that are well known that people already like,
right,
and that all you have to do is service those characters and carry them through, and you're like, hey, and they had this great idea to handle it like a serious action film, a serious like espionage film, and they stuck to that Winter Soldier is like what got them on the map, right?
Yeah.
They did all the fight sequences, they used all of the right notes for that stuff, and I could still think they could do that. It's just that they have to be in the right headspace. So
I mean, none of the jokes are funny. It takes place in the 90s, and it's just it's crazy. It's crazy how mediocre this movie is with all this talent and money.
I am a little worried, but
okay.
And that's why in my review on the Patreon, I gave them a really bad tongue lashing. Because
I'll make sure they hear that, Ruggs. Don't worry.
Yeah, to them, please.
Yeah, we'll take them into the locker room. Give them a halftime pep talk.
They need to wake up a little bit. They got talent.
Yeah,
they've given us some of the greatest theater moments ever, right?
Yeah.
So I know that they got it, but I don't know what's going on.
Well, yeah, on their own, they can't do that.
They're veered off the path. They got to get back on it.
Whether Netflix will greenlight another movie with this budget, I don't know. I don't know what kind of lesson they're going to take from this, because audience score 76% is going to tell them people are liking it, but it's like literally like a background movie. Like you just.
But the thing is, like The Gray Man, as bad as it was still serviceable.
Yeah,
it was still a serviceable movie.
Yeah.
This is like a complete misfire, and from what I hear, Cherry is not great either.
Oh yeah, that's the Tom Holland. Yeah.
So
those are all. So all right, we'll see. We got they got work to do, but maybe I'm getting all freaked out for nothing, which is usually what happens. Right? But I'm looking at the evidence. Look, I had to present the case. Looking at the evidence. Yeah. Look at what they made. What the fuck is happening? Do not do this to the Avengers, and we'll be fine. All right. Anyways, let's take a quick break here, fellas.
Can we play some promos?
We're going to play some promos. Come back, talk about the real Invincible, season 3, right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Brian, and I'm the host of Citizens of Pawnee, a Parks and Recreation podcast. That's right, a podcast dedicated to my favorite TV show, Parks and Rec. Every week I discuss my favorite things about the show, which include character breakdowns, episode rewatches, and other random facts and tidbits about the show. You can find me on Instagram at Citizens of Pawnee Podcast and listen wherever you get your podcast now. You will literally love it.
I'm Imran.
And I'm Sophia.
I'm the brother.
And I'm the sister. And we are watching a show about cousins.
We're your hosts for Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast.
We grew up watching the 80s hit sitcom, and now we'd like you to join us every week as we rediscover our love for our favorite TV cousins, Balky and Larry.
You can find our show at danceofjoypod.com and on all major podcast platforms. Now we are so happy, Sophia. We do the Dance of Joy.
Imran, this is a podcast. They can't see us.
Oh, po.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy this show, this is a perfect time to join our Patreon fan.
Join it.
Patreon fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. You can give back on a monthly or annual basis, and you get stuff like access to a special podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus movie reviews, instant reactions. Ruggs put out 2 things this week. One of them was his thoughts on The Electric State and his thoughts on Apple TV's Severance Season 1. Ruggs, that was very cool. We'll get into that later. You can also join us for our monthly Discords. This month's Discord, fellas, it's this week, Thursday, March 20th. Definitely come out this week, listener. We will be celebrating our 10th birthday.
Oh shit.
Our anniversary.
Yeah, but the next time you hear us, we'll have completed 10 years of podcasting, and we will be starting our 11th year of this goddamn show. What?
I thought we were supposed to stop after 10.
What the fuck? No. Ain't no stopping now. No stopping. The thing is on autopilot. But it should be a lot of fun. We'll reminisce. I don't know. We can listen to the first show. I thought that would be fun. Man, Ruggs, we can listen to the first time Ruggs came on, episode 13. This could be fun.
Okay.
But definitely stop on by. And there's other things, fun things.
You should play a little bit of the first show, and then we can go to the one where I come in.
Yeah.
I want to see you have to see the stark contrast from when I come in and fuck up your show.
Yes, it'll be a fun ride. It'll be a fun thing to reminisce about. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Lots of fun stuff there. Check it out. Give back. Okay, fellas, let's get into this week's review. Invincible, season 3 on the Amazon Prime has wrapped up. We will be reviewing it. Here's the spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
So we had previously discussed the 3-episode premiere that came out last month, February. We will hit the big beats that happen in the remaining episodes and this finale. But before, Anthony, let's start with you. Overall, season 3, how did it hit you? Were you satisfied?
Are we doing the part where you narrate all the season?
Yes, after you give us your opening overall thoughts.
Please don't. Okay, so overall thoughts of season 3?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think I'm going to say? This season was awesome.
Yeah.
I think the last 3 episodes were so good. I mean, if you want to even hone in the last 2.
Yes.
They end this with such a bang, and the journey that the Mark goes on, the character Rex and Adam Eve, and just all the stuff they have going on. I mean, by the end, you're just those last few episodes are just white knuckle, tense, brutal, great action. They're just a lot of fun, and we talked about this last week. But this show in the comics, they've built something where, in other hands, these could be just parodies of what Marvel and DC are doing. And really, what's kind of interesting about this is Kirkman's just doing all the best hits from Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
And he just has spun it into his own world, and it feels lived in and real. And even though it's basically the best hits, he's made it feel unique and feel entertaining and original and refreshing, and it's great, and it's very brutal at the end, and the fight between Conquest and Mark and all the shit that goes on, and all the different scenes. We can talk about the fights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great ending. It rivals that first ending of the first season. I think they always seem to knock out the endings of these seasons, and sets up way more for later on. I don't read the comics, so I can't wait to see what happens next. But man, I mean, that entire episode until that fight ends with Conquest, I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my god,
yes,
who's gonna die?
Yes.
Like, what's gonna happen?" There's so many tense moments there.
It's great. And you know what Robert Kirkman really does great, which I've noticed in this and in The Walking Dead, even though this is his source material, he's not one of those guys that's like, this is written in stone because I wrote it once. In both cases, when he has the ability to improve his own thing, he takes a risk, and generally it's a marked improvement from the comics. I know that from The Walking Dead. If you think of the governor character in the comic books, he's very one-note, mustache-twirling psychopath. And then by the time he gets to the show, he makes him this nuanced, layered character. I haven't read Invincible, but what I've read is that he's done that in this show too. And we'll get into, I have a couple of instances where he added something and where he's using unused storylines for things. But that it's great that he could do that and pull it off and not be like, I'm never going to change this. I wrote it once. This is perfect the way it is. Because there's a lot of creators that are like that.
Well, when you write something, and even if it's received well or whatever, you always have thoughts on what you wrote. So, and things that you would do differently. So it's kind of a and most writers don't get the chance to do this,
Right.
to kind of revisit their work.
And it's a true adaptation, right? These are different mediums. That's got to be taken into consideration. And I think he does with the pacing of some of these storylines. Ruggs, how did this season 3 hit you? What did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought it was actually very well done. I think that the last episode was a step above, a cut above the other episodes because of the animation was really well done.
They definitely
Budget went
saved.
there.
Yeah,
They stepped up their game.
told you they're saving their money for something, and that was it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth checking out. I really liked the overall ticking time bomb they have, and that it gives it a sense of urgency because the Viltrumites are coming.
Right.
They're sending people. Mark's got to toe the line. He's got to figure out what to do. At the same time, you got a new enemy that's really a big threat, and that introduces even more of a problem where he starts porting in versions of himself
Yeah.
to fight himself. And it was kind of a genius thing. It was like everything that Dan Slott did wrong, the opposite of what everything that he did wrong.
Yeah.
Use multiple Invincibles in a cool way. So he figured out how to do Marvel's greatest hits better than they did it. So
I mean, I really love this season. Those last 2 episodes were incredible. The brutality, the devastation, the themes, the nuance. I mean, what did we get quickly to go through the remaining episodes 4 through 8? We get him going to the future and killing Immortal again. How many times did Immortal die in the show? He's died at least 7 times.
he's immortal. He never dies.
It ain't a season of Invincible unless Immortal gets his head ripped
Yes,
off.
several, and that happened twice this season. In that episode, also, we do get the only time with Alan and Nolan as they kind of break out with Battle Beast, and he reveals, I think this is important, Nolan says the Viltrum Empire consists of fewer than 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites. There's really not a lot of them, but they are this big threat. I thought that was kind of crazy.
But I mean, you see what one can do.
Yes. One,
They are
Or
very
even a
powerful.
half-blood can do.
Yes, and even the half breeds like Mark and Oliver, we get them fighting a dragon and starting a business as a prison security guard. That was a fun episode too, with those gangsters and Machine Head and Mr. Lou and all that shit. It's a nice little extension of the universe. What'd you guys think of that?
That was cool.
That was good.
We get Powerplex, a character, a villain created kind of from the end of season 1's battle with Nolan, and Mark's not really.
I kind of found that to be weird because I felt like that Mark should be able to take this guy easily.
Well, yeah, and they put him away, and he comes back again, and that briefly when the Invincible War and the variants bust up the prison, and you're like, this guy again? Shut the fuck up! But that episode, such a tragic story on this guy who was so hard on revenge that he ends up killing his own fucking wife and kid.
They do a good job. They do the Batman Superman thing where you get to see the destruction from the civilian point of view and how that would affect them.
Yeah, that's what that.
Because a lot of comics, they don't really explore that.
Yeah.
Is what the civilian, what that viewpoint is, what would be the ramifications of people just fighting in the city like that.
And you see more of that in that last episode. And I don't know, I would think Mark would have been more careful, but there's.
Yeah, that's the whole time I was thinking, dude, get the fuck out of there.
Yes, take him
go to
into
a
space.
desert.
Yes, take him somewhere else. Yes. Mass casualties. It's got to be easily. It was hundreds of thousands of people have died on the planet between the invasion and that final battle, right?
Yeah, I mean, you even get the callback to the first episode where, again, Mark gets driven through people at the speed of light.
Yes.
And, I mean, just how the amount of trauma this character has gone through.
So brutal. That whole thing, I liked how it mirrored Mark versus Mark v. Nolan in the end of the first season.
And it's just, the one shot where the kid's holding his father's hands and then his arms get ripped off.
People get sliced in half. Just... Holy shit. But even in that whole episode, whole cities are crumbling.
But you see so you watch something like The Boys, and you can see the destruction that's going on there. That's nothing.
No.
That's like hardly anything
Yes.
compared to what happens in this. And like Man of Steel actually does it,
Yeah, but
but they don't show you the deaths.
This does it better than what they're trying to do there.
Yeah.
Well, also, yeah, The Boys. I thought of that too. The Boys plays up a lot of their violence
Yeah.
as jokes. This violence is just it's almost matter of fact. Like, this is what would actually happen if people this powerful were fighting each other.
Yeah, we're not shying away from what's going to happen if
Right.
you throw Mark into a building and it collapses on people.
Right. Or if a Viltrumite punches
Yeah.
a less powerful superhero in the face like he does of Adam Eve, her jaw is going to fucking dislocate.
I
and
mean,
break
these are two-dimensional drawings that make me fucking uncomfortable times. Like, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, even
what they
when he's holding what's his name, Kid Omni
Oliver.
Oliver
He's
over his
about
head,
to
and he's talking about how he's going to rip him apart.
Yes.
And you just see
Oh
the
my
bone
God.
stretching and everything, and the blood. It's just like, oh my god,
He was about to just rip him in half, and he's telling him what's happening to him
What's
while
gonna
he's
happen,
doing
yeah.
it. Let's just jump to the great parts of that last episode. The heart bubble in space, the conquest blows him, I thought was great. I was like, this dude is a motherfucker.
Well, you also have Negan versus
Yes.
what's his name in the comic?
Glenn, Jeffrey
Glenn.
Dean
Glenn
Morgan.
finally gets revenge.
Yes.
You have Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the voice.
Should have hit him with a
caster.
baseball
This
bat.
time that would have been great. This time Glenn wins. They get around two, and it's crazy to have them both go toe to toe again in another thing.
Conquest is a complete psychopath.
What a motherfucker, bro. Okay, so I also loved when Oliver was like, I'm going to help. The mom's finally like, Oliver, keep moving, keep your distance. She knows he's got to go in. And
But he just gets smacked down.
yeah, his fucking teeth knocked out. He spits up blood.
I thought that he was going to be kicking his ass for a while.
Yeah. I mean, he gets
And then eventually get the, he's inexperienced. So
he's just suing
Yeah.
experience.
What happens is what his mom warned him not to happen. He gets caught by the leg, and like she's like, keep your distance, and he does not.
Well, he's also looks at him and goes, he's old. We're
Yeah.
young. We can take him.
He's like, take that, you old bag of turds. That's what he called him. I've also heard.
But you also, though, like, even in this, while we're talking about Oliver,
Yeah.
he has a good arc,
Yes.
too, where he, in the beginning of this season, is very eager to fight, but has really no regard for life. He just goes, you need to kill people.
Yeah.
But by the end, he still wants to kill people, but he's also going, we need to help people. We need to clean up. I want to help. I'm doing this for more of the right reasons rather than this is just fun.
Yeah. So I remember we all thought, we were like, this kid's going to be a problem. And
No.
turns out he wasn't a problem. I've heard that Oliver is way more likable in this than he is in the comic book. I love that scene where they follow him when he sneaks out. And what is he doing? He's just making friends.
Oh, yeah.
He
That's
just
great.
wants to skateboard and be a normal kid.
And then when he has a chance to use his powers with the bullies, he doesn't. Well, he does,
He
but
does,
he uses
but in
it
a fun,
just like
harmless
to
way.
take their pants off
Yeah,
or whatever.
And I'm like, that's a perfect move. Like, he restrained himself and humiliated them and kind of won that battle. It was great. I really loved Oliver. I loved Rex, and I was so mad.
Oh, yeah.
They fucking killed him. It's weird that Rudy's like, I'm going to be Rex now. Call me
That was
Rex
a little strange.
at his funeral. That's strange. Okay.
He already stole the guy's body.
Yes. He's a clone of Rex, so maybe he can make another one. And he's like, call me Rex. I'm like, okay. I like that little bit they just touched on briefly. He stops Monster Girl's predicament of getting younger every time she changes. He made her
They can be a cute little kid couple.
He made her a belt. And
Maybe she can grow a little bit.
I think there's many highlights, but I think one of the more disturbing parts is, and I think they definitely added this from what I've understood.
Yes.
But when Conquest has Mark pinned down,
oh my God,
and then starts confessing that he's lonely.
This is the best part of this whole episode. A character that comes in initially, I'm like, this guy's kind of one note. And it's great because he's like, I just want to fuck shit up. I'm having a blast. Let's keep going.
Right.
And then in that 30 seconds of content, he's like, I don't have any friends. Everybody hates me. I don't even have a name, just a job. And
too good to do my job, basically.
I'm too good at my job. This is
Everyone's
you're correct,
scared of me.
Anthony. This is not in the comics. This is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Kirkman going back in, adding some depth to this character. And
he ends it by going take it to the grave. So I think that's something where it's like these. I've read online these serial killers that confess
Right
everything
before.
to their victims,
Yeah.
everything right before they kill them.
Yeah.
He's kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, because in a way they want to tell someone to
Right.
kind of absolve them, and you end up telling your victim and nobody knows, and you got it out.
Right.
And like, how long has Conquest been waiting to just reveal that to somebody?
Well, yeah, he goes, sometimes I want to cry,
Yeah.
but there's no point.
There's no point. Nobody will care. He's like, nobody in the universe will give a shit. And you almost feel bad for him for a second.
Yeah, kind of.
So all of this happens during Eve showing up to help. Remember, Eve got taken out, but then she makes herself a little leg brace and flies over there, makes a little
She was a little badass even before she goes Super Saiyan.
yeah, she makes a little armored thing, and she gives him a good fight.
She slows down the air so he
That
can't travel as fast.
Was a great move. What a power set. Increase the intensity of the air to slow him down. I was like, holy shit, that's really fucking useful.
I just wish that I understood how her powers work better, because like if their powers work the way I think they do, she should be unstoppable.
Well, now
Well, she's Jean Grey.
she is now like OP, as the kids say.
Well, she gets Jean Grey, where she says that.
She has some kind of a mental block in her power.
Yeah.
But the way it rolls out is the brutality at which Conquest punches her half of her face off, and then it drives his arm through her body. She's falling, and you see her guts flapping, and she dies. And I'm like, holy shit. This is the thing that Mark needed to actually make him mad and fuck her up. But then she fucking Dark Phoenixes. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Heals herself.
Did you guys think she was dead?
I thought I had a feeling.
I thought she was dead.
I thought she was dead, but I also know that the character is around in the comics, so I was kind of confused. But I was like, are they actually changing this and killing her? And she looked fucking dead. Yeah, and then later she reveals she had mental blocks put in. She could do this the whole time. She never told him. She knew she could do this, and now she can control organic sentient matter.
Can't she go in and get the mental blocks removed?
I think now that she's gotten this, I don't remember the exact line, but I got the impression that she now can do this whenever, because the mental blocks she got taken to the place where she can do this, or maybe she has to get back to being almost dead to do this.
Well, that trauma clearly got her past the blocks. Whether they're destroyed or not is weird. Also,
I think it's a convenient writing tool so that because her powers are made, she could control matter. So that makes her God, basically.
Yes.
Right.
She's like, she'll never die. She can fix anything.
Yeah.
She can make anything. She can fix
that's
anything.
what they do with Jean Grey in the comic,
Yeah.
right? They put the mental blocks in, otherwise she could manipulate anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so she burns off all of Conquest's skin, and this is now Mark. This is Chance. First of all, the snapping of limbs, so pronounced.
Oh, yeah. Well, the right before that, when he gets so angry that he slams his fist into Conquest's metal arm, and they both break their arms.
You see? Well, before that, Conquest had snapped his leg, right?
Yeah.
When Eve shows up, he hits him in the leg, and then the arm bone pops out, and Conquest is like, that's more like it. Like, he's getting off on this. And then Conquest breaks his other hand, which all he's got left is his head, and he just fucking headbutts him to death. It is so fucking brutal.
Well, as he's headbutting at him, he says something.
This what you want?
Yeah, well, he goes talk or say something, and is this what you want? He goes, I'll take the good with the bad.
Yes. Just keeps
gets
slamming him.
Just gets his face smashed in. It reminded me of the scene in whatchamacallit. Oh man, I'm not forgetting the movie with Viggo Mortensen.
Are you talking
Violence,
about
History of Violence, where the guy's face is all fucked up when he gets shot in the face?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's on the ground. It's kind of like that, where it's just brutal. Like Conquest's face is just all over the place.
I mean, it's split wide open, kind of like Angstrom Levy's face was also.
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. Just wide open with the tongue and the teeth all fucking.
Everybody just looks like the Demogorgon.
Holy shit.
But this scene and what happened, this has been, talking big picture, this has been Mark's arc, without trying to rhyme there.
Yeah.
Wasn't trying to rhyme, but it happens. Throughout the season, so, at the end of the second season, so at the end of the first season, he's so traumatized by what his dad did that he doesn't want to become like his dad.
Right.
And then at the end of the second season, throughout the second season, he's trying to hold back and not be like his dad, but then Angstrom pushes him to a point where he thinks he kills someone, and he's all sad about how he killed someone, and he's going to be like his dad. And he goes, I can't cross that line ever again. But then throughout this season, people keep coming up like Angstrom and now these Viltrumites and all these different people that have pushed him to the point where they're hurting his family. And he goes, I by the end of this, I have to kill people now.
Yeah.
Like he's evolved to the point where he's like, I can't let that happen.
Yeah, I think that he was being naive. Like
Right.
when you get people that have the power to destroy entire worlds and they're willing to do it, you have to kill them.
You can't hold back. He did not go far enough.
There's not even a discussion here. Like this is his naivety that he wants to be this hero that does not exist. In the real world, you can't, or in any world, even in a fictional world, you can't allow people to just keep doing this. Batman allows the Joker to get free all the time.
Yes.
And it is a quandary.
Yes.
Right.
So,
And it mirrors the arc that Cecil had when they showed that one episode earlier this season, where he's a guy that doesn't want to work with villains. Well, he does kill people, but he doesn't want to work with villains. He doesn't want to cross that line. And then by the end, he's willing to do what it takes for the greater good. And now Mark isn't completely there yet, but he's closer.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great seeing his backstory, but now you can see a little more similarity. And you can understand why Cecil. I mean, Conquest is like, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna kill everybody on this planet. What you have? You have to kill him. Like, I don't know why. For a second, he thought he can get away with not killing him. You were gonna have to kill this guy.
He has to kill him, and last episode he wanted to kill Angstrom as well.
Yeah.
He hesitated and lost his chance to kill him.
And at this point, I'm yelling at the screen, remove his fucking head. What are you doing? Just make sure he's dead, and he doesn't, and this kind of bites him in the ass, right? Because Cecil shows him the body, Mark, and he's like, burn him.
Why didn't he kill him?
Who, Mark?
Yeah,
I think he thinks he's dead.
I think he thought he was dead, but I was like, you need to just remove his head. Just separate the head. You got to make sure. Like, with this guy, I would think you would have to make sure, but there's a reason he doesn't. We'll get to that in a second. So there's that scene.
Well, yeah, we should go over all the teasers.
So the majority of this episode is this battle, and then a bunch of tags and wrap-ups.
And a funeral.
For this season. Mark and Eve bang, and there's a weird thing where his suit on the ground starts melting into colors. What the fuck was this?
I think, so I know everyone notices that. I think while she can manipulate matter, I think there's something going on there where when she uses her powers, because she manipulates his clothes off right away. I think there's something with her powers now where, similar to the failsafe with the blocks, I think if she uses her powers like this, it might like kill her, or they're like something's going on there.
It's a side effect or something she can't control.
Right.
Without, I think her blocks
makes it more unstable.
But those blocks aren't there. So what else is coming through, right? That those blocks were.
I mean, you could easily do a Jean Grey storyline.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. It was very Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix.
Then
she needs those blocks.
We get the funeral. Rex is like, Rudy's like, call me Rex. Weird, whatever. We find out the sequid possessed alien beings. Oh, they're still around underground. That dude Livingston's got a bunch of sewer workers down there. They're all being controlled by those little aliens. They show us Battle Beast floating in the space with dead Viltrumites, and this weird group of aliens just finds him.
So I saw online, Screen Crush says that's the Coalition. I don't know anywhere else I've seen that's the Coalition.
I thought they were just unknown aliens.
Yeah. Battle Beast is a motherfucker that
cool.
also can.
Yeah,
he's cool. He's honorable, but he also he's just as powerful as Viltrumites.
Yeah, so he may come in handy in the fight. So the Angstrom, the technicians, after saying we're not going to help, you work for us now, they do give him a new arm, and they're like, we want you to find us a new world. And Angstrom's like, okay, no problem. And he's like, wait, that's just the beginning of what we want from you. So I don't know what they're up to, but he's got to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the craziest thing, Cecil and Donald are underground in a heavily armored place, and he did not burn Conquest. You just see his head mounted in this thing. Cecil wants to keep him there to find out everything he can about the Viltrumites. What do we think about this
how does he
decision?
not know that's a bad plan?
Mark is going to be so mad, and this is not a good idea.
This is such a bad idea. It's hubris, and it's going to blow up in his face.
Well, the only thing the way I can defend Cecil is there's not a lot. This is a very, very risky plan,
Yes.
but he doesn't have much. If Mark goes, he has nothing really to go against the Viltrumites.
I mean, I get it.
Well, we do have some knowledge now.
Yeah.
That there's not that many Viltrumites.
Yeah, he doesn't know that though.
Yeah, well, Mark knows it.
No, Mark doesn't know it yet.
No, only
How do
that
we know?
was between Nolan and Alan. Nolan told Alan out in space, which I was surprised that we didn't get any more of that. Like that was the only thing that was missing.
Well, you forgot to mention though, Cecil in the middle of this is rebuilding the Reaniman at a stronger level than before, but they weren't ready to go.
Right.
And Cecil tells, what's that character's name?
I think that's Sinclair.
Sinclair, that we need these basically tomorrow because
that's great. Or he's like,
are coming anytime.
You got to be fucking kidding me. She's like, are they ready? Like, no. Like, damn it. And also, what was funny is as soon as the battle with Mark and Conquest was over, all the fucking Guardians just show up. Where the fuck were you guys? You couldn't show up.
I think they knew they were going to get their heads ripped off.
Yeah, but they could have helped distract them a little bit.
We'll just stand on the sidelines and
Just wait till they kill each other, and then we'll pop in and take over. Oliver's okay. He got rescued. So then there's that scene where Mark kind of tells Oliver, like, sometimes it's okay to kill people if they're threatening your family, I guess.
He says, he's killing people basically now.
Yeah. And then we get a tag with Damien Darkblood. This was weird. Summons a demon and says, we have someone who will help you become Hell's owner again or something. I guess talking about Mark. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Apparently this is an unused storyline that Kirkman never used in the comic. So again, interesting.
Yeah, it feels like with this character, Mark in Invincible, he never has a break. This guy can't catch him.
He can't. It's one
just
thing
keeps
after
getting worse.
another. He's just.
And I think that's kind of the way you should feel at the end is just when you think it's all over, there's still all these threats that are still there.
It's pretty tragic, and somehow Mark doesn't seem like a depressed guy.
Oh yeah,
he's kind of just letting it roll off of him, and like
a lot.
I mean, he's dealing with a lot of trauma, but I feel like he wants to live in a world that this idealized world that he remembers growing up, like in the shadow of his father. So it's crazy how so many terrible things have happened to him, and he's still not become completely crazy. It's interesting.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean that's what DC and Marvel have been doing for 60. I mean, look at all the shit they've put Spider-Man and Batman and Superman, and it's the same shit.
Right. And that's one of the things. It's Peter Parker has been tortured so much. And now I was like, this guy would be a fucking nut job in real life. Like he would be mentally ill at this point.
Still, he's got that Parker luck. But that's the great thing about this is imagine you were at the beginning of those runs of Marvel and DC enjoying it. Like I would imagine it feels like this. They're able to recreate like that golden age of world building and superheroes.
What do you think gives Mark the will to endure? Like, what do you think is, from what you've seen in the show, what do you think it is? Is it that he has this idea that he thinks human beings are good and that they need to be protected? Or
that's a great question, because I think that is somewhat shown in the episode right before this, where you see all the other Marks.
Right.
They're all variants of Mark, and it's one of those nature versus nurture type things.
Right.
And I think it's the fact that he grew up on this reality
with this mom,
and a dad that up until the very, very end of his relationship with his dad, they both raised him in a way to like value life. Whereas all the other Marks and all the other dimensions were raised differently. And they all were nurtured differently, and then they all end up like psychopaths. So I think it's just the way that he was brought up in his life.
But are we saying that Nolan was a kind of a good dad in that sense?
I mean, Nolan, up until the day he turns on Mark, raised him to be a good dad. I mean, good son. Nolan was saving people.
Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of pretending to be the hero, but then became a hero and forgot about his mission.
I feel like maybe in all the other realities, he didn't allow himself to kind of, and when a cop is undercover, and then also he becomes the mobster, like on the DL, he really is the mobster.
Yes,
I think he was doing the same thing. He was trying to become a person of Earth or an Earth person. And he was faking it so well, it actually started to happen.
Exactly. You come in undercover, and then you eventually start to form actual relationships with these people and fall in love. And he even says, when he goes, I think I miss my wife at the end of last season. It's very telling. He's going to be defending humanity. So I'm really interested in this whole. I guess that's the larger arc of the Viltrumites
redemption story.
We didn't even. I was surprised we didn't get nothing with Nolan or Alan.
That was the only weird thing. I was like, I would figure they would be a tag catching up with what's going on, and nothing. We got just that one bit in the episode 4 at the end. That was it. There's so many. I mean, instead they showed us the fucking mummy and the two archaeologist girls.
It wasn't the fight after episode 4, or no? With Alan and Nolan, or is that
was the end of episode 4?
Oh, okay,
yeah, and then you get nothing else.
I also want to just quickly give a shout. We talked about it last week, but Steven Yeun has multiple marks. I mean, he's doing the voice acting for all of those, and you get right away just hearing his voice with all those different ones. You get a sense of which each of those marks characters. Yeah. In the limited bits that he's talking as each of those, like some are really whiny, some are brats, some like one goes, "I miss mom." Yeah. Like they're just like all over the place.
It's so great. The other one's like, "I can't wait to kill mom again."
Yeah,
but you get their personalities right. I mean, the whole voice cast is incredible. Jason Mantzoukas as Rex is fantastic. Sandra Oh is the mom.
Apparently, the Rex stuff. Yeah, they added in his relationship with Ray. That wasn't a comic thing either.
Oh, see? Again.
In the comics, he has a redemption too, but it's not as pronounced as it is here. Where you get the relationship with Ray, and then you get the start part where he's basically saying, this is great, my life's great now, and then he has to fucking kill himself.
And then when Eve was, because Eve that was like her first boyfriend. They were a thing too, and she misses him too, and you meet him as an asshole, but you fucking love this guy at the end. As he sacrifices himself. But everybody, man. Zachary Quinto as Robot, Ross Marquand, Walton Goggins, Sandra, everybody is just amazing voice cast. Great performances.
Well, the other unresolved plot is Darkwing.
Oh, yeah, he disappeared.
One of the marks to another dimension.
Never came back.
And we all presume he's dead. He's not, right? No one thinks that. And then all the other marks are on that empty, desolate planet dimension.
Right.
Where you have to think they're going to come back at some point.
That was great when he was like, I thought they'd turn on me much later. Oh, well. He's like, I'm just going to get rid of them. And then all those drones. Like, how many drones were those? That was millions and millions that he's fighting through. It was wild.
Oh, in the last episode,
yeah. That second with the extra Levy. So, yeah. And all these things they've set up, I think, are pretty great. And, goddamn, it's easily the best comic book superhero shit I've seen in a long time.
This says a lot for animation, right? This is why anime is huge in Japan and all over the world, is because you can do this kind of storytelling without limits.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're going to do something on a level like where you're telling these big stories that are larger than life, you have to at least go to this level. Otherwise, it's not worth doing. If you're not going to do it like they're doing it, then don't do it. Like, I like all these animated series that come out that are like really milquetoast and like lower in quality or in visionary scope and just talent and voice talent and direction and editing and even the music.
Yeah.
Like you can, this goes so far. You get so much for your money.
It's the animation style is different, but it's up there with Arcane. If you're talking about voice acting, writing, direction, that's like top. It's like top tier shit.
It's proportional. It makes you feel like the realism of the characters because they're doing human proportions.
Oh, right, right.
The style is comic booky. It all helps. Like, because if you're they do a lot of these cute animated series where they have big heads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't take it seriously, and they're trying to do serious storytelling with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this and Rain, Scavenger's Reign.
Oh yeah.
We're able to like really do that with 2D animation. You don't really see you're using 3D animation for everything now.
Yeah.
Like Arcane and stuff like that. But in a 2D world, this is probably doing it the best.
No, and I love how it evokes like bright, colorful Saturday morning cartoons of the past, right? It has that, but it's like the adding on top of the violence and the graphic nature from the book is fantastic. It's just fucking good.
Yeah, it's really good. Good source material they're basing it off of. And yeah, the only complaint I'd have is where was this budget the rest of the season? But that's I think it's a little bit overplayed on the community that Invincible has bad animation.
I hope this shuts up all those people who are like, "What's the problem? What's with this
listen,
animation?"
I've seen and read the reactions, and they're very positive towards the last episode, and they have been saying exactly what Anthony said. Yeah. Where's this money been? But you got to understand, most of the shows that we watch are using 3D. Like even the Spider-Man show, the new one, that's 3D.
Oh yeah,
it's just made to look 2D,
right?
And once you have a character that exists, all you have to do is kind of, and there's even prepackaged animations
you just
where
move the model around or whatever.
You could just upload the loop of the animation and it'll do it. Like you have a walk cycle that you could just throw on there. Yeah. You have the swinging cycle you can reuse 1,000 times and just tweak. They're hand animating.
Yeah.
And that's just time consuming and expensive, and they can't make changes on the fly like they can. Oh, we want to reanimate the scene. Well, it's all in the computer. It's all exists.
I'm okay with the animation, quality changing, because if you have a budget, you got to make decisions. As long as you make the right decision and put it where it should go, which is what they do, the end product is still solid. And it doesn't really bother me that much, but you visually notice that animation is way better. They saved all their money for this.
In the future, AI is going to do this for a fraction of the cost.
Possibly. could probably do it now.
Well, yeah. I would wager that once they get all the kind of the Bible of like the character and every pose, like they could just stitch it all together.
Yeah.
It's not too far off.
All right, Anthony, final thoughts. Give me a score, and I do want to know where you would put this with season 1 and 2 ranking wise.
Man, that's tough.
Hard.
Season 1 is such a crazy season with the first episode and the last. Season 2, maybe a little weaker, but then that end is so crazy with Angstrom and all that. But season 3, these last few episodes have been just so good. It's tough. I think this season I'd rank it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would maybe lean towards the first season just because it's that first season and it hooks you so quickly into Mark and Nolan. But man, this season is also really good, and it's fun. It's just a really good show. Yeah, I'd go 9 out of 10. Maybe I'd go 1, 3, 2.
Yeah.
They're all good seasons.
They're all good.
I don't have any problems with any of the seasons.
Yeah.
And the story and the journey we've been on. And every season, those last episodes there's just so much tension with those fights.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, and so brutal. You don't want to see Mark's family. You're invested in Mark's family. You don't want to see them die. It's just, these are rough. It makes you, these are like the superhero stories that we've all read, and they're great stories, but they're just, this one the way Invincible tells them, it just feels more real. The stakes feel higher.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's a cartoon and it has these crazy stakes and you feel them that they pull it off. Ruggs, final thoughts. Give me a number. Give me a ranking.
I feel like the series quality has been pretty consistent. It's been consistently good. I feel like this particular season was very enjoyable. There was a lot to see. There was the Invincible attack. There was the stuff at the jails. They had the dragon. They had a bunch of different things that stood out that were different than the last season. So I'm going to I think it's a 9.5. Sure.
Yeah.
Solid.
Wow.
It's pretty solid.
How does it rack up on the, against the other two seasons for you?
I think that it's just this. They've been maintaining. I don't think that there's a dip in quality. I think that's just what stories do you like better?
Yeah.
Like what part of this like I feel like they're building to like an end game, but there is no end game with Invincible because it goes on for years.
Yeah.
And
how many more seasons do we think we'll get out of this?
Well, like think about this. Like comic books can go on forever. They go on for 70 years. And a lot of it is like rinse and repeat after a certain cycle. So it cycles out and then they got to kind of recycle everything. And so I don't think they should go beyond the first cycle. Like they should just do one cycle and then end it.
Yeah.
And then, because otherwise it's going to be rinse and repeat. You can't keep it going that long. So maybe I would say maybe 3 more seasons at the max.
I think that would be enough to tell the story because I did want to mention the pacing of the show is excellent. It's not the decompressed writing and it's not going too fast. They kind of give it everything enough and drop in little things. I really enjoy the pacing. This is a fantastic season, man. It's really hard. That first season, it's a 10 out of 10 easily. But the other 2 seasons are very close. Season 2, I think I would give a 9 because I just remember the moment Nolan is like, oh, by the way, I banged this bug and this is your brother. I was like, what the fuck, bro? Which is exactly what Mark said at the same time. Season 3, I think, is like a 9.5. I think I'm with you, Anthony. I'll go 1, 3, 2, but they're all very close. And yeah, the fact that it can keep this consistency and this tension, this momentum, and these characters is the best superhero thing on right now. It's fucking great.
Yeah, and they there's plenty from comics and just what you can see on screen. There's still plenty of stuff to mine.
And I think I'm really excited. It'll still stay fresh. There is plenty of ways. There's still plenty of questions you have, plenty unanswered.
We all
things.
want to see a big Viltrum versus whoever the coalition puts together. Mark, his dad, which is crazy because his dad destroyed millions of people.
Yes.
In that first season, but I mean, his dad, Alan, maybe Battle Beast,
will be there.
Who else?
Yes.
Maybe Adam Eve. What kind of army do they got?
I mean, they'll have all the Guardians. Will the Reanimen be ready by then? This all needs to culminate in this invasion and this whole thing, right?
I mean, that's all really. Yeah, it all needs to culminate with Invincible standing there with all the people behind him, and then all the Viltrumites on the other side, and Invincible going, coalition assemble, and they all start running at each other. Like they ought to just do
like
that.
Fucking Endgame.
Yeah, they just like Endgame, and I think it would just draw a huge pop out of everyone that was watching.
There'd be a portal, and the guy says, "On your right."
Yeah. Well, I've heard in the comics, right? I believe Spider-Man makes an appearance in part of it. Spawn, I think, shows up during the Invincible War, so he had a lot of leeway with some properties.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. There's an issue of Invincible with fucking Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't see that happening here.
Yeah. I think they did it, but they did it in season 2 with that fake Spider-Man character, remember?
Yeah.
So that storyline in the books, it's actually, he goes to the MCU comic universe. And so they couldn't use the real Spider-Man. Right. But the Spawn thing, I was like, that's not happening either. But it's fun because it's like Image independent comics. They're just pulling, I think Savage Dragon was probably in there, but that was the Image universe. It's different than here. Also, I think we will get the next season in just under a year. February 2026 is when they're promising season 4, which if you give me a season a year, that's perfectly acceptable. I will take that.
No more than 4 seasons.
4, yeah. 4. I mean, 3. We're at 3.
After this third.
I could do 4, 5.
7 is the lucky number.
7, maybe 6, but
7 altogether. Then that's it.
If you have enough material and you don't have to spread it out and slow it down to get to there.
Well, I think if you end it in a great way, maybe you can come back and do an appendix to it. But
sure.
But
sure.
Because there's always more stories to tell, but you don't want to it's going so well. I'd hate for it to be Game of Thrones,
right? Yeah,
or like Walking Dead, where it's gone on so long you hate it.
Yeah.
So
and that only happened because Kirkman left and he saw what the fuck is going on. And he's like, I'm out. It's up to you guys, do whatever you want. And they fucked it up. So as long as Kirkman stays involved, I mean, it's literally called Robert Kirkman's Invincible. So it's a great property. Great show. Highly recommended. All right. Let's finish with some what are we watching, guys, because we're going to talk about Daredevil. You guys caught up? Born Again, episode 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anthony, well, take us, what do you remember out of this and what'd you think?
I just watched it right before we started.
You did you? Yes. We get Hector's trial.
Yeah, so for the listeners, we're talking about episode 3 because episode 4 comes out
4 will be
while
out.
Imran is editing the
Yes,
show.
4 will be out by the time you hear this.
Yeah, so we're always a week behind. Episode 3, I thought, it's a Law and Order courtroom drama.
Great.
I thought it was really good. I liked it. You don't really.
Spoilers.
I don't remember.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't really. I might be misremembering, but I don't remember too many courtroom type scenes in the first 3 seasons of Invincible, of Daredevil.
Right, you kind of
might have been.
You wanted,
but this
more
one
of
went
that.
pretty deep into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you even go again and back in the judge's room when he brings up White Tiger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought even though there's no action in this, I thought it was still a pretty entertaining, riveting episode. And then it ends on a cliffhanger where I went, what the fuck?
Yeah, the guy playing Hector is amazing this episode. And it's still so tragic to think that he's passed 2 years ago. But yeah, the trial and Nikki Torres, the witness, Matt's big witness, is going to bust this thing open, sitting there looking at the cops. And he goes, I wasn't there. And so Matt, he's got nothing else to do but fucking reveal to everyone Hector is White Tiger.
Oh, shit.
What? I was like, you're the fucker who just convinced the judge to not have this information. It wasn't relevant. And he fucking pulls this fucking stunt, which works, right?
Mm-hmm.
The jury says he's not guilty. He tells Hector, you can't be White Tiger anymore. Think about your family. I'm sorry. And Hector does not listen and immediately gets shot in the head.
Oh, shit.
At the end of the episode. And by a guy walking towards the camera, and you see Punisher logo. That is not Frank.
How do you know that?
I don't think it's Frank. I think it's
a bunch of cops that wear the logo.
because we've seen the tattoo on several of these bad cops. They've got like a little Punisher fan club where they worship him for the wrong reasons. Frank is not going to be happy about this.
I will say one quick thing. I thought the episode was good, even probably pretty good, but White Tiger just prancing around on the street.
He's just walking.
Looks a little kind of
I mean,
silly.
finally we get the amulet. I was like, oh, look, there's the amulet. We're going to see some shit. And he's just walking down the
Just
street.
prancing around in New York night. I mean, in all white.
I mean, didn't he think he was going to fucking get popped right away? Everybody knows who you are. What are you doing?
Also, just the visual is
Yes.
silly. Like
Very white.
the show's so serious.
Yeah.
And then you have this guy putting on a White Tiger outfit prancing around.
I mean, it sucks we never actually got to see him like in a fight or anything like properly, right? Ruggs, what'd you
Also, when he's putting when he's putting on the mask.
Yeah.
Well, what do you need the mask for? Everyone knows you're White Tiger.
You don't need the mask anymore. And that's what, and like Matt is like a little bit of a hypocrite here, pulling the stunt, telling him you don't need the mask. Whatever. Ruggs, what'd you think of episode 3? Is it working?
It was fine. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I didn't think it was terrible or anything like that. It was. I was a little bit like, oh, we're just going to be in the courtroom and there's not going to be anything going on. There's no White Tiger action. There's no any. I would like to, at least in some of these stories, have seen some flashbacks of White Tiger doing some shit.
It would have been nice, but the solid courtroom drama.
Yeah, but it was fine. I thought it was good. I thought it was nice to see White Tiger get acquitted. And
in the comics, his like
I like the stunts that he pulled.
Yeah.
So
I believe his niece or his daughter or somebody takes up the mantle. Maybe they'll be White Tiger. But did you catch the frog noise at the end over the credits?
Yes, I did.
Heartbreaking.
The Koki.
The Koki frog. And that whole little monologue about him wanting to be on the beach, and then he just fucking goes out like that. It was wild. It's really good. I thought it was really good. Yeah. Apparently, episodes 2 and 3 were supposed to be episodes 1 and 2, and they added the episode.
Are you liking this season like a lot, or is it like how on a scale of 1 to 10? What do you think it's cooking at right now?
That's a good question. I like where it's going. I'm somewhere like a 8.5, 9. Honestly, for tell you the truth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like it as well. I would go more around 7.5.
Okay.
I'm entertained by the episode. I don't know that it's at. I don't have the same excitement level that I had for the Netflix stuff, but I think it's pretty close.
Yeah.
The White Tiger stuff, The only thing with the White Tiger stuff that I would have a criticism for is I enjoyed it being a courtroom drama, but it did somewhat take away from what I think is more interesting, which is the Fisk stuff.
Yeah.
So that's Fisk stuff, although they try to sneak in a little bit here
Yeah.
with the vigilante things.
Yeah.
It's a little sidelined, and I think that's probably the more interesting.
Another question is, do you think Born Again is the apt title? Like, Born Again is
It's a Catholic thing.
well, no, I mean, is from the comics,
Right.
The storyline there is completely different, right?
Yeah.
So
And they kind of did it already in
Season 3.
Season 3 in Defenders, right? Where he does kind of
Right.
get killed and comes back, and the nurse saves, or the
Yeah,
nun
Born
saves
Again
him.
isn't probably the right title. I get why they did it, though.
Yeah.
It's the most popular run, or one of the more popular runs, and there's the double meaning with him being born again into the
as
MCU.
Daredevil, yeah.
It's just like
and Daredevil, right?
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like they pull that. It's kind of that cutesy shit.
I did think, though, the White Tiger stuff, it is tying into Matt in that he's realizing, or he's going through this where he goes, that is, when he has that speech or talk to White Tiger, he goes, I am the White Tiger.
Yeah.
Like it's not,
It's a calling,
it's not a mask for me. It is who I am.
and it's interesting.
I think that Matt is going to also, by the end of this, feel the same.
Well,
about Daredevil.
it's a calling for Hector, and I feel like Daredevil is almost like an addiction for Matt that he really doesn't want to give into.
It is. Yeah. They play it up a little different with like the Catholic guilt and
Yeah.
it is true that he kind of got off on beating up people.
Yeah, and the nature of vigilantism, that's kind of the theme of the whole show, and they're hinting at that with the mayor, but I also like that there's a power vacuum in the crime world. He should just let Vanessa run that part of the fucking business, and you do the mayor shit, and everybody's happy, because she's still all salty, like, just let me do this. What are you doing?
He's punishing her for Adam.
I think Adam's dead. Remember, there's that shot of his fists, and they're all bruised, and I was like, and it cuts to Matt's fists are bruised, but I was like, wait a minute, who's he beating up on? What the fuck's going on? They didn't really tell you. Maybe it was Adam. Adam's dead. Who the fuck is Adam, by the way? Who the fuck is this guy?
I like the scene with Matt and the cop in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
It's really
Powell.
quick.
Yeah.
Where the cop, you don't need your glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows.
And Daredevil is just basically telling him, you're going, you can't really out me because that's embarrassing. You
So
got beat up by
they
a black
both
guy.
kind of have each other by the balls a little bit there.
A little bit, yeah. I think
Yeah.
Matt has a little bit more of the leg up.
He's got more leverage.
And also, if he reveals what happened, he was tampering with a witness.
That's true. He's moving him around.
Yep.
I like that line where he's like in the courtroom to Powell, where he's like, you know what's a good cure for a black eye? Fast hands or something. Which is great. It's fucking great. I love Matt in the courtroom. Bro, Charlie Cox, Wilson D'Onofrio were born to play these characters. It's perfect fucking casting.
I agree. Charlie Cox really embodies.
Yeah.
They both do, but this is more of a Matt Murdock episode.
Yeah.
And he really embodies Matty.
It's perfect. I can't wait for Bernthal, Muse. We got a lot more going on.
Muse from
the
from
band Muse.
From what's the Kevin Smith thing?
Jason Mewes.
Not Jason Mewes, not the band Muse, but a psychopath called Muse. Ruggs, let's move on to your Severance reports. You dropped a Patreon on season 1, and I believe now you are caught up for the finale this week of Severance season 2.
That's right.
Talk to me about this show. Do you like it? What do you like about it?
Season 1 was good. It was good. If you don't know what Severance is about, it's about this chip that is invented to basically, when you go to work, you go into an elevator. When you come out the elevator to your job, everything that happens, you don't know what happens. And when you leave work, everything that happened at work, you don't remember it. So you just remember going there and leaving and everything that happens there. And that would be cool, I guess, if you're working for the government.
Yeah.
Or you're like working on some shit that's not supposed to get out. It's a good way to probably keep secrets.
Sure.
But what they're doing in the office, it's like a mystery.
We don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
We don't know what the fuck they're
Harbor
doing.
is, or what the numbers mean.
We're watching them do it, and it doesn't make any sense. So there's something like that going on.
What are they doing is on a computer, they're staring at a whole grid of numbers and then putting them in little virtual buckets. And they're just
compartmentalizing
just
them.
by feeling the numbers or something. I don't know.
Maybe they're compartmentalizing the thoughts. Maybe they're the ones that are doing the thing. Maybe they're sitting there cleaning people's brains.
I don't know what they're doing.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're in charge of cleaning the brains and making sure that the thoughts go in the right bucket,
Maybe.
keeping them in the right bucket.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's what I think it's going on.
Okay.
But so anyway, this guy.
Maybe spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, go ahead.
So this guy that the main character works there, and this guy that he used to work with has now untethered himself, and now is remembering what's happening at the office and contacts him, and this creates a snowball effect where now he's like, oh, this crazy shit going on. What I'm involved in might not be so cool. And then the mystery starts to unravel. What's going on at this place? What are they really up to? And are these people that are now new versions of people? Like, are they entitled to have their own lives?
Yeah, do they have rights?
Basically, imagine like this. Imagine I go to work and then I don't know what's going on, and myself at work is like having an orgy,
Right,
or something.
right.
I don't know I'm doing it,
Yes.
but like, am I culpable for that? Like, I'm not in control of that person who's at work.
Case in point, the John Turturro, Christopher Walken characters fall in love on the inside. They're innies. And on the outside is a great scene in season 2 where he wants to feel, he's like, I want to feel that, and they can't do it. And Christopher Walken's like, you did feel it. He did feel what it meant to be loved, but just doesn't remember. How great is Walken and Turturro in this show? Christopher Walken's fantastic.
Christopher Walken, I didn't know what he was doing. I'm so glad I saw him in something because he's great in this. And it's definitely an interesting thing. They handled it well. And look, they did a very subtle, nuanced thing with them. And I feel like it was more powerful the way that they did it than if they were to, they just handled it really well.
Yeah, I mean, the show is part like Twin Peaks, part Lost, but then some original shit also.
So the first season, I thought they were cooking with gas. They were like really ramping up the tension, and I was like, oh shit, this is fucking crazy. The second season, still good, but I felt like there was like 3 or 4 episodes where they just spun their wheels.
Well, the Colbell episode was weird because it slowed everything down.
And I thought that the episode with her was like way long and drawn out and did not add to the story until the very end.
That wife episode was wild, what they were doing to Gemma inside.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah.
There was the episode where they go on the retreat.
Oh, I love that. Listen, when the best line, they're outside and fucking, what's his name? Dylan. They come across Dylan and he just goes, out fucking side. And he's just so happy to be out there.
Well, no, because
I thought that was great.
This is what happens. Like the episode right before that, shit goes off the rails. Right. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, the cat's out of the bag. Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens next. And then all of a sudden it opens with it feels like there's a lot of time passage or they're not acknowledging what just happened. And it was just weird. So
what did you think of the season 2 episode 1 has an incredible running through the halls sequence in the beginning with Adam Scott. That kind of blew me away. I was like, holy shit, how are they doing this? This is very cool.
No, there's some really good cinematography. Yeah. It is just a very strange show. Yes. I don't know.
It's weird.
Lost fucking burned me really bad because I had so much put into that show. It was like the first of its kind where you're watching a show and the characters are all these great characters and the mystery is there and you're waiting for this really big thing to like sell it all and it just peters out and it just ends very poorly. If you think the Game of Thrones ending is bad, they got nothing on Lost. Lost like basically does the most predictably cheesy ending that is like Deus Ex Machina. Like it's not like a great reveal or like a Prestige. Like the turn is like so crazy.
But, yeah,
it's just like this oh, we're gonna just do this thing that's so ethereal that it doesn't matter.
But you know what? I stumbled across this Instagram account. It's this dude who's making these videos where he's explaining the different storylines and bits of Lost. And it's actually made me kind of appreciate it more once I hear this guy kind of break down what was the Dharma
but once
Project,
you have the
what was this?
context, once you have the context, you can sit there and make connections.
Yeah, that's true.
Fake connections.
Sure. After the fact, yes.
And if you want to believe it or not, you can do that.
This was intended or not, nobody really knows, right?
No, because you know how it ends at that point. Yeah. But I'm very, very. I reject your premise that Lost was good. Because
I didn't say it was good. It was okay in the beginning. It ended badly,
but I reject anyone's premise that Lost ended good. I feel like that they really squandered
it. Didn't end good. No.
But I feel like this is a very likely with this show. There's maybe they have a story here that's gonna blow my socks off. Yeah. But I'm very scared that I'm going to put a lot of time into this show, and it's going to end up not being satisfying.
So I hope so the first season, it starts kind of slow, but then the back half picks up, and the first season ends in the middle of this amazing cliffhanger, like in the middle of the moment, and you're like, what the fuck? And it made me angry. I think they may do the same thing again. Second season.
Oh, for sure.
You're not going to get a lot of answers. We may get one answer. There's going to be more questions, and then they're going to leave you hanging in the middle of something fucking crazy. I guarantee that's how this fucking season ends.
Well, I enjoyed it. I binge watched it.
Yeah, okay.
It was one of those things that I have, because it leaves you on cliffhangers. It leaves you wanting more. But it is slow burning. Sometimes I was tempted to fast forward through it, and I did in some scenes. I was like, this shot for this person to walk across the room is taking 3 minutes. So let's just speed that up to 10 seconds, and I can go on with my day.
All right.
I'm like, why are these slow pans?
The Rug Boy
I hate that.
Severance. We should make it.
It'd be 5 minutes long, because
it's 5 minutes.
There's just these long lingering shots all the time,
and it's atmosphere, bro.
It's wasting time. It's running out the clock.
It's texture.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's definitely a good show.
I recommend it if you're into Lost.
Yeah.
If you made it through Lost and you didn't want to fucking throw your shoe at the TV like during the last few seasons, you might like this.
No, it's one of those shows where I'll admit there are a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's kind of cool. I'm not really sure. But that's the show if they do that on purpose.
There's a lot of liberties being taken here. And hopefully it pans out.
So you can hear more about that on our Patreon, season 1 from Rock Boy. I got to mention 2 really good shows I stumbled upon on Netflix that I've started watching. They're 2 very different shows, but they're both very good. The first one was previously recommended by listener Rick Martinez, American Primeval. Ruggs, you check this out? Anybody check this out yet?
Not yet. It's on my list.
Okay. I watched the first 2 episodes. Here's the setup. It's 1857 in America. And this lady, Betty Gilpin from Glow, and her son are trying to make it to a city through the Utah territory to get to her husband. She's looking for guides. Nobody wants to take her through this territory. Why? Because this is a fascinating time in American history. In this moment in time, you have Brigham Young, who has created the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, who are trying to claim land. They have a militia that is actively fighting the American army. You have settlers and pioneers that are going out on their own, trying to live and develop this land. And you don't know if anybody you come across is going to kill you or is going to help you. And on top of all of this, you have native tribes just fucking killing white people left and right. Not only white people, they're killing each other for land. So this is the setting where this lady has to go through. The first episode ends with this amazing attack on their caravan. And it's, bro, the action and the violence is really good. There's fucking hatchets to the face, bow and arrows. Both episodes had really good, tense action scenes. And I'm totally in. And it's a fascinating time in American history. There's a dude who gets his head like half scalped by a native and has to get it stitched back. It's fucking graphic.
Sounds great.
It's really good. The action, I was like, both episodes Really impressed me with the action.
All right, I gotta check it out.
Okay. The second one is different. This just came out this weekend. It's a limited series, 4 episodes called Adolescence. Okay. You're going to start hearing about this show. Here's why. It's a British show. And right in the beginning, this is the premise of this one. Right in the beginning, you're following a whole bunch of cops, SWAT, guns drawn. They bust into this suburban family's house, causing chaos. They go up the stairs to the bedroom, break in, and arrest this 13-year-old boy on suspicion of murder. It is chaotic and like, what the fuck, as you would imagine. Now, here is the amazing hook of this show, these 4 episodes. Every episode is one continuous shot. This whole thing unfolds in real time. And I was looking for stitches, and I read an article. This is a true one-shot deal. These episodes are like an hour long. And the camera does amazing things, from handheld to riding in the car to like getting clipped on a drone. And when you watch this, you just think about the logistics of doing this shit. They're going from the street into the house, into the bedroom, back out. Then you're in the car. Then you're at a police station. It's one fucking shot the whole time. It's unbelievable. And not only that, the writing and the acting is very good. Stephen Graham is in this, who played Detective Mulligan in the Venom movies. We just saw him. The kid is a first-time actor, and it's really fucking good. It's ambitious, and I love this shit. One shot, every episode, 4 episodes.
That sounds tempting.
It's very good. Anthony, you know those pique your interest?
What are we doing?
Come on, you got the Wild West.
Deliverance is the one
American
that everyone
Primeval.
talks about.
Deliverance.
The show
Severance.
that's
American
Severance.
He keeps calling it Deliverance. It's hilarious.
That's a great movie.
That's a different movie. I'll tell you.
It's a completely different thing. Severance
Yeah.
is the one that everyone talks about. That's the one that has more hype. This thing you just talked about, I've never heard of in my life.
It just came out, but I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing articles. You're going to start hear people talking about it. It's fucking an amazing technical marvel on that. Like, why would you try that? Like, you're watching this, and if anybody fucks up at any point, you make it all the way to the end. You got to reset the whole fucking thing and take it back from one. And these people are living in these roles, like, and then they're moving around. It's really quite a remarkable thing. It's like a true 24. It's all real time. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's really good, though. And American Primeval, don't sleep on that. This is solid. This is like,
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
this is like Deadwood,
You wanna know, Imran?
Gangs
You've
of New
been-
York,
been-
period, violent piece, you know.
You've been 50-50, so I'm gonna roll the dice on
Both
it.
of those, roll the dice. I've only watched 2 episodes of each. I'm going to finish them up, but so far I was like, these are both really good and on Netflix. So.
You were right about Severance.
Yeah,
That was
told
worth
you. Told
watching. And the Day of the Jackal was also
It's great.
very good.
I think you will like both of them. I think you will like Primeval and Adolescence. Because
Okay.
And I now you understand why Adolescence is 4 episodes. There's no way you were going to do a whole season, 8-10 episodes, all one shots. Fucking impossible. That would be.
What do you think about Jack Reacher?
Oh, Reacher season 3. Oh wait, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, it's getting good. His fucking cover's blown. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
now the shit's hitting the fan for real.
And
It's really gonna come down.
And I really like how Anthony Michael Hall comes in and you think he's the bad guy. And now Reacher's going to have to save him.
So Anthony,
Yes.
in Jack Reacher, Jack Reacher's got this like little loose team of people that he's working with, and one of them is one of his like trainees that's kind of off doing her own thing. Her name is Neely, and so these guys come in to kill her.
Oh, this is a great scene.
But she's so well trained, she knows the fuck to do,
Yeah.
and she fucking gets the drop on these guys and takes them out. And then the guy that she shot is up against the refrigerator.
This is so great.
And so she just walks in and like starts questioning the guy as he's bleeding to death. And she makes herself a bowl of cereal and tells the guy to move
Yes,
so she can open
she
the
can
fridge
get the milk.
and get the milk. And she pours herself a bowl of cereal while this guy's bleeding to death. It's very Tarantino.
It's so great. It was so
And
great. And the
it
whole
was-
time he's like,
That
please
was my
call me.
favorite part.
Please call 911. Call me an ambulance.
That instantly makes her a huge badass. But like it was great
She's
to
just
watch that.
calmly, he's like, can you move? I got to get some milk. And he's fucking dying. And it was so good. She's so badass. They're working on a spinoff show with her rugs. I think she's getting a spinoff show.
She's pretty cool,
She's
I
pretty
think.
badass.
I mean, I don't like she's very monotone.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the character or if that's how she acts. But I mean, they might need to like tweak that.
I'm
little
still
bit.
waiting
Using a
for
character.
Reacher versus Paulie fight. Big guy versus bigger guy. You know they got to do it.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
You know it's going to be ridiculous. But again, this show is over the top machismo dude action stuff done right.
Right.
Where you can enjoy it. They don't make it too cartoony, but it's not realistic, but it's just
not as action packed as it should be.
Yeah.
I can't wait but that's, I think, the nature of Reacher is like he's a one man army and he's just kind of like taking care of business in his. It's very Roadhousey.
It is. It absolutely is. There's a guy will do that. He'll just take care of, get things done, no matter. And
it's like if Dalton was just the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, if Dalton was huge,
just walking into town and fucking shit up, and it's fun.
That's the show. Yeah, it's fucking fun.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah. Anthony, you watch anything else?
No.
All right. What? I guess that's it then. Listen, Anthony.
You guess that's it. You just talked about 7 things.
Yeah, they're all good things.
I was going to interrupt you during Jack Reacher and just say it. I have to say it every week when we do What Are We Watching? It amazes me that you have this much time in the day to watch all this stuff.
Listen, I create time. I have a machine. It makes time for me. It's a time machine.
I think he's just watching shit while he's at work.
No, I would tell you if I was, because my boss don't listen to this, but I would totally tell you. But there's no.
But that's
way.
the thing. I know he works a lot too. So I just don't understand how he has the time to do all this.
Well, get home and fucking turn.
Look, I see people on their cell phones while driving watching movies.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So
that's ridiculous.
It's I've been in an Uber with a guy who was watching fucking movies,
and you're like, can you not watch the movie while we're on this ride? Thank you. I ordered a no movie ride and also a quiet ride, so shut the fuck up. Ruggs, where can the people find you online then?
You can find me at Rug Boy Show on X.
Anthony, where can the people find you?
This week, I'm going to be trying Hot Pot for the first time.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that like
a hot pot?
Pho?
Well, it's first off, it's pho. Pho, no, that's Vietnamese.
Okay.
Hot Pot, I believe, is Chinese.
Okay.
It's where you have a broth and you can stick different meats in there and veggies and create your own stew.
I want to stick my meat in the broth. It sounds delicious.
I like a good hot pot.
I've never tried that. I got to try that.
But the combo is if you can get hot pot with Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue is the best fucking thing.
They have them comboed.
Oh, that's
what I need to eat next. I'm gonna go get that. In the meantime, listener,
what about do you prefer that or when you roast the Brussels sprouts like you told us that one time?
There's nothing wrong with Brussels sprouts, salt and pepper, a little olive oil, like throw them in air fryer, crispy little snack. It's a lot of work though, so I don't do that.
He hasn't memorized.
It's my go-to recipe that I've never made, but you should. Because it's good, I guarantee.
That or the turkey you cooked one year that looked disgusting.
How about my omelet? That's just eggs. How about that? I got all sorts of fun food over here. But fuck white chocolate. It's not real chocolate. Don't call it white chocolate. Anyways, listener, look, here's what you could do, listener, to help us out. Share this show. Get it out there. Tell a friend. Tell an enemy. Tell your dentist. Whoever you can.
Put it on all your feeds.
Spread the geekery. Spread the empire of stupidity. We would appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
You got 10 more years of this, Imran?
At least.
I like turtles.
How dare you do this to us?
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Jock and Nerd